It's time! We're celebrating! It's 5 years! We're rolling on the road! We're rolling on the road! 100 shades of diversity! We're rolling on the road! Oh, rolling on the road! We're rolling on the road. 100 shades of diversity. We're rolling on the road. Take it away.
Yes, and thank you, Cousin
And
Pat.
I love that.
Thank you. I am so excited on today. My name is Dr. Kimberly, and you are rolling on the road, which is an educational platform for 100 Shades of Diversibility, where we improve the quality of life for persons with disabilities legislatively, economically, through community partnerships and education. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it was. But it was good. I loved it.
But how about this? I'm just a systemic advocate who loves folks. And if I can point you in the direction or roll in the direction with you on how to improve your life, I'm there with you. And
Amen.
I'm going to let my guest here, who is Dr. VerTongie, look at the hearts going up. Dr. VerTongie, who is, hey, y'all, we are rolling over here in the Detroit.
Yay.
Yes, we're over in so y'all know I'm about to do the map. Yep. I'm over here and she's over here. Only in Michigan can you tell where you live by using your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Only in Michigan. So I'm excited today to have this conversation with Dr. VerTongie. We go all the way back to about 2019 when Gretchen Whitmer first took office here in
Yay.
the state of Michigan as the governor, is when we met.
Yes.
Yeah, we met that long ago. And I promise you, has been as if we have known each other all our lives. Like we
We just clicked.
grew up together, hung out together. But I'm so grateful to have this time with her. And what she's done just as much, if not more, than the governor in this state as it relates to autism and her son. I'm here to I can't tell it all, but I can give you a smidgen. And she got the nerve to have written a book. She's gotten her doctoral degree. And let's see, she started a foundation. She wrote several books before this book now that is out. And the foundation is called Hezekiah Kidz. And that's her son,
Yay.
Hezekiah. He has, yes, he has autism. I'm gonna ask you to put your phone on mute because it's just dinging over there.
And you know what? People are asking me, are you live?
I am. They just come to my page.
No, they see me and they're like, are you guys live? I'll say, oh, no, we're not. We're just sitting here talking on Facebook. But
You know what
I'm
I'm gonna
happy to be
do?
here.
I think I'm gonna do what I have never done before while I'm on here. If y'all just be patient with a sister. Be patient. Give me just 2 seconds. So tell me, tell people. Here we go.
It's the weather today.
Is it that
It's
noise?
that's what that's the rain.
All right. What I need you to do is tell the people what you was talking about me.
You know what? I was telling Dr. Barrington, I am so blessed to have met her. Me and her just clicked instantly, and she became my friend. She became a true friend because I think true friends, we tell each other what we think for real in real life. So she'll tell me when I'm wrong, when I'm right, and girl, you better tighten that up. So I am so thankful to Dr. Barrington because she brought me out of a shell that I was in, that I was living in. Because I didn't like to be out front. I like to do a lot of hard work in the back. And she said, "You're doing too much work to be in the background." But then she would correct me if I did something wrong. So I so appreciate her. That she is that friend that's gonna let you know, I'm not gonna have you out here looking stupid. I'm not gonna have you out here looking crazy. I'm gonna tell you how to tighten it up, what to get right, so that the next time you go for some people, you're together. So I so appreciate you and I so much love you. Thank you for all that you have done for me and my son.
Absolutely. I mean, we go even further of showing up at meetings with the state concerning your son. You know, I feel if
Yes, you
I'm there
have.
for you, I'm there for you. And she didn't always like what I said in the meetings, but she knew I had her back.
Oh,
She
I
knew.
was mad at you, but I was mad at you in love. And you can be mad at somebody in love because you know that they're getting you together so that you don't make the same mistakes, that you know how to educate yourself more before you come to the table. So I so very much appreciate that about you. Um, you taught me to do more research. You taught me to have my facts together. You also taught me that we're paving a way for other parents. And I said, this is what I'm doing. But sometimes being a professional and advocating for other people is so very differently when it's your own.
Yes.
And I hope other people understood what I was saying. I advocate very well for other people, but I don't know what it is when it comes to Hezekiah. I get very emotional because I just don't know. I become in mommy mode. When I'm working with other people, I'm in professional mode. But when it comes to my son, I forget all the professionalism I have and just get right down into mommy mode. So I'm learning. Dr. Barrington
Yes.
told me, she said, always stay professional. You professional, girl. So she cut right into me, but I really love her for that.
So one of the things, if you have a child, especially if you have a child and
Hmm.
you're advocate by trade,
Hmm.
and yet your advocate, you have to, on the other side as the mommy, have to advocate for your child as well. You have to remember, you have to be that same advocate. You would not go in, be emotional, cuss everybody out if you're working for a client or you're trying to help someone else out. You're the one who's going to be cool, calm, and collected.
You got me there. Thank you. Love you for that.
You have to be cool, calm, and collected because they're expecting you to act the fool, especially when we're of color.
Hmm.
And many times, I've gone in and I hear the same thing. Well, we tried to talk to, Miss So and so, and she just lost it. And
Hmm.
so I have to tell people, you gotta bring it down, and the same skills that you use for others, you have to use for yourself. Can you talk a little bit about the type of autism, because we know that autism has a spectrum. So the type of autism that your son has, and then we kind of
So
move into how you started advocating for him.
let me start with how I started advocating for him. My son was nonverbal and he was a runner. That scared me because I didn't know how to handle that. To have your child to be a runner and nonverbal, and you need resources and you don't know how to get them, that's a whole thing of its own. So
Explain what a runner is.
my son, at any given second, he would just take off and run. And people that know me when he was little, I was smaller because I was always in gym shoes, got out the heels, got to the gym shoes because I never knew when he was going to run. I never knew what would offset him. And at that time, he was very emotional. He was like all over the place. But then I kept working with people, and then I met Dr. Kimberly. She said, "VerTongie, you're going to have to become so that you can help this baby." And she didn't say it to me that nicely, so, but she got me together to let me know. It wasn't nice, but she pulled my coattail like, I'm going to need you to stay in character. I'm going to need you to be together. So I so much love her for that. Because then when I was calm, he was calm. So fast forward to 2021, I could start seeing resilience in him, seeing that he was coming out of his shell. He went from nonverbal, couldn't speak, to runner, to start advocating for himself. So he went from being a low functioning autism person to being a high functioning autism person. So now I am thankful for that because it was not always what you see now with Hezekiah is not what it was. He was he didn't grasp anything. So Dr. Barrington got me together. She said, you can't work with him. You can't grow him. He can't be successful if you're emotional and all over the place. But she didn't say it that nicely. You know how your friends are. They tell you stuff in the back room. So I so much appreciate that because now it made him be the young man that he is. He's come a long way, but we still have a longer way to go. So I have learned to educate myself. Because she told me, VerTongie, you're going to have to educate yourself. Books can't teach you this. You're going to have common sense, knowledge. Book sense is okay, but experience is the best. So I have learned a lot, and I'm learning to advocate better for him as an advocate and not his mother. So fast forward, I started Hezekiah Kidz. Huh?
That right there is a difficult piece, is learning how to pivot, from being a mother to an advocate, especially when you're at the state level and they're writing IEPs and you're going against the grain because you don't like what you see. The mommy mode is, look, this is my child. I think especially, do you mind if I share the piece when we were in the meeting about what they felt about Hezekiah?
You know what? I want you to share that piece because I started Hezekiah Kidz, and I thank you so much for helping me to grow that into a different organization. I started Hezekiah Kidz because I didn't want people to know that I didn't know what I was supposed to know. Mm-hmm. So this is a learning transformation for me as well. So I would love for you to share that because even in that moment, as an educator as I thought I was, as an educator, an advocate, a community person, a mom, a minister, I did not have the piece that you brought to the table that you so calmly told me in public. It was very calm and peaceful, but when you got me by myself, for some you don't do that no more. So please share that because this will help other parents. This will really truly help other parents. So please share that story because I think people need to know it's not about book sense always. It's about work experience, and the mother is the best experience that you will have. But I think the public needs to know that piece because I didn't have it together that day. And I so much appreciate you for being professional, number one. Number two, being the advocate that you are. And number three, pulling my coattail as a friend.
Well, part of it was being a part of the Michigan Rehabilitation Council. We are part of that IEP programming piece. So I got to see policies and procedures that were put in place, mm-hmm. but they had no lived experience of anyone right. as they're doing the writing. So what I appreciated about having that position was to be able to add in the real life experience. The Shantaz's, right. Dr. VerTongie's and others. There's another lady, Miss K, that has mm-hmm. a child with a disability. And mind you, all of you are persons of color. And so your access to information and knowledge is mm-hmm. different than your white counterpart.
Absolutely.
it is so different. And so they don't always tell you. So you don't know what you don't know. And they're not going to tell you what you don't know.
Absolutely.
You don't have an inside track. And so as we're in this meeting, I'm listening, I'm taking notes. Now, mind you, I think we had 3 meetings with the state. I mean, these are high-ranking folks because she's trying to get the best for her son, and she was appealing their decisions, and it ended up way up here. Like this was the end of the road. If it didn't happen here, it wasn't going to happen. And she just popped off. Look, I teach these kids, and I know what I'm talking about, and that's my son, and you can't be trying to tell me. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. And then, of course, everybody in the meeting became defensive. And you know what? He's not teachable, he's not reachable, and we have these programs for these children who just will not be able to function. And basically, they were saying he wasn't going to even be able to stand at Walmart and say, welcome to Walmart, and give somebody a cart.
Right.
That's serious.
They were absolutely serious.
And I said, no, that's not going to work. You know, and I said, I have seen Hezekiah. I have been with Hezekiah. I said, and that is not true. I have watched him progress. So some of the programming that you've done with him up to this point, I said, has brought him out of his shell. I said, he was verbal. I said, he is verbal. He wouldn't look at me. I said, but he looks at me now. He wouldn't say my name. And now he don't stop saying, well, Dr. Kim, you know, Dr. Kim. He'll get all Kimberly out, but he'll say Dr. Kim. Every now and then it might be Dr. Kimberly, but he can say Dr. Kim. And with the way I said, he likes games, and his mother would tell him, look, I don't have the money for that today. He figured out, take me to the store. Give me, I need to buy stuff. I'm make it. And he started making jewelry and started selling the jewelry so that he could buy the games that he wanted to play. And what I told them, I said, sometimes you have to come off script and say, okay, look, what can he do? And what do we have in that will work for him? And once I was telling them, look, this young man created to be able to buy his games. And you mean to tell me you don't even think that he could be a greeter at Walmart? And I said, and he explained to me about what he does. And I said, and he showed me. I said, because they were out shopping. And I said, and he showed me the things that he had made. And they're like, oh, well, let's see what we can do about this. Then all of a sudden they found a program that will allow him to be an entrepreneur. But you were already working on it, but it was to help other people. And you gave it your son's name, but it was like, Pumpkin, you got to give that same thing to him. I'm watching you be a keynote speaker, being a motivational speaker, hosting, forums. I need that person to show up when we're talking to state directors, because nobody is saying that you're not educated. Because nobody's saying that. We see the doctor in front of your name, but what we need to do is step back and become an advocate.
Right. And I think, Dr. Kimberly, sometimes that's hard. As a mom, it's very hard. It was very difficult for, and I'll just be very transparent. I became a mom at 29 years old with Zachariah. So I finished school, did everything I was supposed to do. Motherhood is a learning experience. Fast forward 5 years later, I have Hezekiah. Then 5 years from that, I find out he has autism. That was a very hard pill to swallow. So I had to get myself together. So how am I going to baby him, help him, and then I have this whole nother child. Then I have 3 bonus kids. So that was a very hard pill to swallow. And you have parents out there And I had a village, but I was embarrassed to let my village know that I did not know. And that's where you stepped in and you said, closed mouths don't get fed. So I had to find a way to open my mouth the correct way in front of people. Because I remember going to the IEP with another parent, then I go into the IEP with my son, and the special ed director said, Miss Kendrix-Bailey, you're not the same person that you was in here yesterday with this son. And she said, I don't know what happened, and I had to look at myself. I went in there and advocated point A to B, pendant everything that this particular child needed. But when I got to my child, I fell apart. I mean, I was in tears because it was hard.
My heart was hurt. Look, I'm getting tears now because I felt your pain. You know, I felt your pain, but right now we can't cry and fall apart in front of these people.
I know you got me together real quick. He's like, oh no, we ain't doing that today.
Now, when we get off of here, we could holler and cry all day long because my heart broke. This is one of our sons, and this is how we lose them. This is how we lose them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just said, Lord, it can't end this way. He can't end this way. And I understand when somebody tells you that your child is not even qualified to stand at the front door and say, welcome to Walmart. How difficult is that? Is it welcome to Walmart? That's extremely heartbreaking as a parent.
You know, sometimes we're so busy looking at the disability till we don't see the ability.
That's
So
it.
my son picked up the slogan, there's ability in the disability. So I actually got that slogan from him because he always would tell me, Mom, I was born on Sunday. I was like, okay. He said, Zachariah was born on Sunday. So I can do something. I can be like, Zach, I can do something. And that resonated in my spirit. Sometimes we're so busy looking at the disability till we don't see what they can do. And then we feed that, and then the public starts to say, well, they can't do this, they can't do this. So even my son, he was home the weekend. He said, Mommy, that's had 20 years old. Y'all still babying him. We're not babying him. I think he thinks we hold his hand too much.
And how old is Hezekiah now?
Hezekiah is 20. He turned 20 on June 19th.
Yeah.
So it's a process. It's a process. It takes time, it takes effort. And like I tell people, and I think me and you had this conversation and you was like, don't belittle what you're doing. Because I remember having this conversation. I said, I didn't start Hezekiah Kidz to be famous, to be rich or any of this. I was a hurting mom. My heart bled. I cried. I couldn't pick myself up. I didn't know how to pick myself up. But here I am out here advocating before I even had Hezekiah for other children. I said, now why can't I have that same energy? But you got me together real good. It was like, okay, VerTongie, you're going to get yourself together. You're going to be professional now. When we get off of here, you're going to cry, but you got me together. You're not going to be in here acting a fool with me. So I'm you don't know, I was hurt, but then after I thought about it today, and I was mad. But friends, what we do, we get mad. You had a very valid point. People give you the same energy, and then they treat you like you don't know. So this is my goal, to educate all parents of what to ask for. Because if you don't ask for something the right way, you won't get what you need.
That's it. We want to say thank you to Ralph Williams, who's watching, Dr. Alyssa Carter. We have Shayna. Hey, girl.
Hey, Shayna.
Yes, all the way from Maryland. And Taz is on the line. And I don't know how to pronounce the name. Let's see. I'm going to let somebody else mess it up. Can you read that?
Who? I don't know who it is. I can't see the names. I have my social media. I can't see the names.
It's on the front. I have it on the screen. And thank you, Shayna, for that comment. She said, that's right. You have to know what to ask for. Because when you don't, I love the show that we did a few weeks back. but we were talking about wheelchairs and not knowing that every 5 years you can go in and ask for another wheelchair. And if you have damage on yours, like mine did, Lord Jesus, had $15,000 worth of damage on the other wheelchair, and it was considered, non-drivable. My hearing aid is falling out. Hold on, y'all. There it goes. There we go. My hearing aid is falling out. But you can come in and you can ask and say, hey, look, got some issues going on with this. They have to do a check, and it's just like a car. Oh, we got to pull it off. It's not drivable. And I ended up getting a new wheelchair early. Let's see. This is Amy Granderson says, thank you I tried to make sure my parents and guardians have guidance and resources. Thank you, Amy. Because many times we don't, especially us of the Black and Brown community. When it comes
Absolutely.
to our children are normally diagnosed later rather than sooner than their white counterparts. They're labeled as disruptive in the classroom and ADHD, and when in fact they're on the spectrum.
And I think sometimes we don't. So before Hezekiah was diagnosed, my mother thought something was wrong. The pediatrician thought something was wrong. But I think because I was so degreed and I didn't see it, I think they were afraid to tell me. I really think they were afraid to tell me because I didn't see it. This is where I say, this is why now I'm learning. When you see something, say something. If you have a resource, give that resource out. Don't be embarrassed if a parent tells you off, then so be it. But sometimes we're not sharing enough resources with our people of color. This is why I'm fighting so hard into the community to get some things going. Because and then I'm just looking at the numbers of autism is increasing. When Hezekiah was diagnosed, it was 1 in 88. Now 1 in 88 boys. That's not even including the girls. But now it's 1 in 36 as of last week when I checked. So our numbers are increasing. And then that's even to say there are people that have autism that have not even been diagnosed that is sitting in classroom and nobody has taken the time out to see what they need. We're just writing them off as being bad kids, but not doing what they should be doing. So I think this where it comes apart, and I'm about to cry. We need to start educating the parents to know what it's doing. This is why I work in the community, not for a name, but we also need to educate the educators, the caregivers, the community, the police officers, and even in the church, we need to address everything so that we won't be shined upon it. Back in the day, and I don't think I'm that old, but sometimes we just swept things under the rug and nothing got addressed. Even with mental health, those things never got addressed. And I want to say to the parents, and Dr. Barrington, I think I was going to discuss this with you, but our parents of kids with mental support, that's why I'm so thankful to you because you kept me together, not even knowing it. You have no idea how grateful I am to you keeping me together. You said, sometimes we ain't up here feeling sorry for ourselves. We're going to get this going. Parents of kids that have special needs, they also need mental support as well. And not everybody has a Dr. Kimberly that's going to be like, okay, sometimes you're going to cry, but you ain't going to cry right this minute. We're going to eat some fries. We're going to drink some Coke and have a slush. And then we're going to cry, but you're not going to cry right now because you're not going to get what you need. And then I realized at that moment, I needed mental health support, but you gave it to me indirectly, not even knowing that's what you were doing.
Well, I did, but you don't want people to feel that that's what you're doing because they don't want it. I got this. I'm good. I'm good. The other day, this person walks up to me, didn't say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. It was, let me tell you, blah, 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 blah. And I said, really? And then blah, 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 blah. And I said, you know what? This is what you need to do. And this will make it better. And the first thing they said, but I'm okay. No, you're not okay if the first thing that you came to me with is what was bothering you. And so you have to, we got a comment here. Shamie says, yes, sharing is caring. Please don't gatekeep. I like that.
Thank you so much for that. Because,
Don't
we're in this field.
No, because you can help someone else along the way.
Wow, that was a powerful statement.
She said, it takes a village. We need more sister and brother keepers.
We do. We absolutely do. And I think,
thank you.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you.
That was a dang on good comment. Probably the best one of the year is don't be the gatekeeper of the information.
I have a lot of organizations out here doing things about autism and mental health. And I always tell them, it's so much work out here to do. It's not even enough people doing the work for the work that's needed. So please don't feel free to nobody stepping on anybody's toes. We all need to be out here working. Because I'm in the educational system. We have more kids than we can handle. With not enough resources. So we just need to know that don't gatekeep because it hurts. Like my son is 20. Had I not went outside the city of Detroit to get resources, he would have never gotten them. And not everybody, Dr. Kim, I would say not everybody, and I just have to stress this enough. You have no idea how thankful I am for you. Because sometimes people, we don't know that we are not okay.
And there's always a way to do it. Sometimes you just send a word of encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
You send a song. There's so many different ways that you can reach a person without saying, girl, you show this depressed. You need to go see a therapist or something. What's wrong with you? Why is you acting crazy? Honey, if you knew what I was going through. Or the big one that we like to do in our community. Oh, you be all right. It's okay. You'll be fine. No, I won't. Not now and not tomorrow, because it's not going to go away. I need a time where I can process this without it being processed within me, because it turns into overeating, which leads us to high blood pressure, strokes, heart attacks, autoimmune issues. So if you love somebody, give them that space to tell their truth without being judgmental.
Dr. Kimmy, there are a lot of nights, and I know we always will start our text and our phone conversations or text messages no earlier than 5 o'clock, because I was up starting around for work. But one night you sent me a song, and that was at 2:52
in the morning.
Yes, I still have it. I said, what is she doing up at this very minute?
That's part of my advocacy. If God wake me up and say, look, she need this song, that when she wake up in the morning or she get up to go to the bathroom, she gonna need to hear it. Because sometimes a message could be in a bird flying past. A message could be a commercial that comes on television, or it could be found in a song. It could be found in anything if you listen
and pay attention.
Yeah.
And pay attention.
Yeah.
I think we don't pay attention to each other enough.
She said it was 2:52 in the morning. She know the exact time. Lord have mercy.
Because I always go back to that song, and I'm gonna send it to you too. So let's forget. I'm gonna screenshot it to you. And you probably, and I said she's probably text sleeping.
No.
But I needed that at that moment because I had gotten up to pray. And I don't like calling people before 6 o'clock unless it's an emergency.
She said, yes. Hold on, we got a comment. She said, yes, so many ways to encourage someone without judgment, talking down or making a person feel less than. Well, Shayna, you just coming on through here.
Come on, Shayna. We know you, Dr. Kimberly. We know you. We know you. We know you very well. But once we get our stuff together, you're gonna let us know what not to do the next time.
And I'll tell you, I will tell you, let you know, I am so godly proud of you. I'm so godly proud of you. Great job. I'll
Hmm.
pat you on the back. I sure will. I sure
You
will.
know,
It's not just, constant boom, 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 boom. But the Bible says that we are to tell the truth in love. So it's coming from
absolutely.
a good place, not to shame or down anybody, but it's like, hey, you have the
You,
ability to be a systemic game changer for so many. And when you see that in somebody, then you have to come alongside of them
hmm
and teach them how this works, how the system works, how you get
hmm
that you need. And then when folks, you say, oh, yep, and it's okay. I've had people drop my name. And then, of course, people will circle back. Hey, do you know so, 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 so? I said, what happened? And if they use my name, it's not true. I didn't authorize them. But she knows that she could drop my name with anything or whatever she needs in this state. Plus, we got a lieutenant governor to get governor, so we got lots of work.
hmm Yeah, we do. We have lots of work to do. And I just, I'm working with your help. I'm working on a parent guide. I want to put a parent guide out along with my story because it was a struggle. And I
Yes,
want people to know you are going to struggle. Without the struggle, there's no glory. And you can't have no testimony without no test.
that's it.
You can't have no peace without prayer. So my journey, this blue journey, I didn't understand it at first, but I thank God for it. Because maybe this journey was to make me stronger. Maybe this journey was to, like you always tell me, we ain't finna have no pity party. Remember those words, Dr. Kimberly? When I have no pity party?
Yes, ma'am.
So I
Yeah,
learned a lot. You can't help somebody else with a pity party. When you got me together in front of those people, and I was up there crying, she's supposed to be my friend. But at that moment, everybody didn't need to know that she was my friend. They needed to know we was coming to this table to advocate, not just for Hezekiah, but everybody coming behind Hezekiah that needed this assistance. We have a job to do.
but you have to remember, I got on them as well.
Oh, you did. You did. And I think they're trying to do better.
I got on them as well. I use my $16 words, my doctoral words.
Absolutely. And it's good to let people know who you don't know. And I let them know I'm educated in other fields, but I'm not educated in the mental healthcare field. So and but and then that can mean something totally different in the same sentence. So I've learned when I don't know what to ask for, call somebody, look it up. Because if you go in there and say you want ABA therapy, they'll give you the ABA therapy, but you didn't read the small print. But if you need additional hours, you are eligible for them. So we have to teach people what to ask for and how to get it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm working so hard. And I think after this book, book that's coming out with my tribe like this, I'm going to go back because I want people to know my journey wasn't easy. Because I hear a lot of people that say, "Well, Hezekiah, he's doing fine." I said, "Well, if you would saw Hezekiah when he was 5 and I was skinny, you would see I was running. This was a rat race, but
Yeah.
now he's not running, and I'm might be fat now. So you know, I want people to see the journey because it can give people hope. And you have given me a lot of hope, a lot of encouragement, a lot of connections, and a lot of things that's not just on a. The one thing I love about you, this is not just for your baby. This is to help the community. And sometimes our stories need to be told to heal other parents because it was a healing process for me. So I learned to stop asking God why, and like you said, why not you? But I never understood that until a year after you told me that. So
It
I'm just
takes
happy that I'm helping. It takes
a
a village.
special person to
It
be able
does.
to do this, because you see so much inequity and you feel as if you're not making any headway. And it's like if you make headway to the left, then here comes something on the right, and then you got this stuff that's hanging out in the middle. But one of the things that anybody who is an advocate, hear me and hear me well,
Hmm.
just water can break the biggest rock, because all it does, you're looking like, how can something fluid break down
Hmm.
something big and solid like that? It just takes persistence, and it just keeps going. The ebb and flow of the water up against the rocks over time just wears it right on down,
It
and it's
does.
big as it was when it first started out. And so if we all come together as a body of water,
Hmm.
and we come up against this big rock entity of whatever state that you're in, whether you're in Michigan, Ohio, Maryland, you're gonna wear them folks out, and they're gonna see we're consistent. Number one, we know how to
Hmm.
conduct ourselves. We know the right questions to ask in order to get the answers. We know what's available. And with all of it, platforms like this, people from all over the United States can see it, can hear it, and be able to take some notes and implement it where they are.
Right.
You can implement it wherever you are. Because you have to look at this whole process of advocacy as you have a primary care
Hmm.
who takes care of you, who sees you once or twice a year, knows everything about you. And then if there is something that might be wrong, let's say your toes start hurting, well, they're going to send you to the podiatrist,
Right.
still in the medical field, but they specialize in the feet. So each
Right.
advocacy group, even if it's autism, specialize in different parts of autism based off of what their experience has been with it. Some
Right.
people are good with helping you to get your child diagnosed. That's their specialty, and that's all they do, how to get you to the right folks to get your child
Right.
diagnosed. There are others that teach you how to figure out, can your child be in school or do you need to homeschool? So you got folks that can do just that. They may have some other tentacles out there, but that's their main thing that they are good at. And then you have those who, we have it from 0 to 18
Hmm.
states. I think for most states they go up to 26 in order to assist. So you have those folks who can help you beyond 26.
Right.
Then there's the financial aspect of any type of dis, whatever you're experiencing. You got the finances related to it. Then you have maybe supplies that you may need to have. How do you
Right.
get those? How do you obtain them? Even if you're diabetic, where can I go where I'm not paying this huge copay for
Right.
diabetic supplies? Because my doctor I don't have them. Well, baby, you can get a prescription for some of the things that you have, and you don't have to pay out of pocket. And a lot of people don't know that if you need a walker or a cane, you can ask your doctor to write a prescription, and then you can take it in and go and get a walker. Sometimes it's a copay, sometimes it's not.
And Dr. Kimberly, I really love your platform. And I thank God for your platform because I watch it, and when I don't watch it, I can always go back and watch it on the replay. You are really game changer with this disability, 100 Shades of Disability, because you bring everybody on to give resources, to give their experiences, and this is really healing the community. This is really helping the community more than you will ever know, because you have somebody on there that's going to talk to the veterans. My father's a veteran. You have somebody else that's going to talk about dementia, caregiving, healthcare, the political side of things, the educational side of things. So you leave no stone uncovered. So I want to thank you for that because I realize that you are truly the driving force in the community to make people know that we all have equal opportunities and we have to learn how to get to point A without going to point Z, F, and jumping all around. There's a straight line from point A to Z, and you're teaching us how to get there. So you bring all the resources to the table and then you tie them together so we know how to use them together. So this platform is really helping the moms more than you know, because I always tell people to go back and look at your shows. And you have helped a parent that we had. She came to my event. So I watched Dr. Kim's show. I was on there watching for something else, but you helped her with the caregiving piece, which she didn't know that she was entitled to. So in this journey that we have, it's a hard journey, but you make it easy. You make it easy for us. You make it
Well,
easy.
I thank the Lord because I always say, if I can't help you, I'm not going to be a stumbling block. And number two, maybe it didn't change for me or with me, but I know I can do something to make it better for the next person behind me.
Absolutely.
I can always make it better for the person, behind me. Or sometimes we doing it right along together. But we have to get out of that, crabs in a barrel, or what does Shayna say? Being gatekeepers of information and the things that, you do. It's like, don't come on this show because I'm going to.
You gonna connect all the dots and make everybody do what they're supposed to do. That's the one thing I love about you. You don't allow people to gatekeep.
No.
Because it's not gonna help anybody. It's actually hurting us as a culture. Because when I went to ABA therapy, my son in 2020, what was it? 2018, he still was the only Afro American male getting ABA therapy. Fast forward now, when I found out about it, I started telling people about it. Now we have our kids, black and brown children, that have accessibility to getting ABA therapy, to getting home care, to getting respite care. These are things that I didn't know when my son was 5 and 6. These are things I learned he was entitled to when he became 14, which is aging out of the system. So I'm learning. This is a learning process. I call this Paint the Town Blue, my blue journey. So you always see me use blue resources because we have to paint that sky blue and make it different shades of blue so that we can get what we need there. Okay, the kids need to be in the light blue because they're 0 to 3. These kids need to be in the dark blue because they're 4 to 5. These kids need to be in turquoise blue. So you're teaching us to connect the dots together because this is going to, and I see the numbers are increasing. I see the resources are dwindling. You may have 100 agencies doing something, but you may need 200 agencies to actually do the work in the field. Mm-hmm. So I'm also building a coalition because we all need to know what each other is doing so that we can refer people to other things. There's a young lady in the city of Detroit. She works with the younger kids. Well, my son, he's 20 now. So I need to connect with somebody that son is in their 30s. What did you do? Because I did this when so we need to connect these dots so that we can grow a stronger community. Because I tell people all the time, I'm 53, my son, he's 20. So I want to make sure that he's successful and sustainable in life. This is why I don't gatekeep. This is why I tell my story. This is why I tell my journey to help other people. Because you never know who's watching you. You just never know how you impacted somebody's life. And I talk about you all the time. And I said, she is more impactful than some friends I've had for 30, 40 years. That's not throwing shade or anything. But you come to the table and you tell me like it is. You don't tell me nothing that's going to make me feel good. And then you said, you can't get us guys together if you're not together. Mm-hmm. So that was something I had to really. I said, did she just tell me this? I said, boy, she hurt my feelings. But I had to think about my mother said, was she right? You can't help them if you're crumbling.
Yeah.
And so I want to let the other mother know, huh?
Oh, I said, thank you, Shana said, Dr. Barrington is a sister keeper. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. You're welcome. And then she said, Dr. VerTongie, I am so proud of you. Keep on going. You got this.
Thank you. And I don't know if I can talk about this right now. My tribe, we're writing a book, and it's called Unleash. And in this book, we have chapters that we wrote on, and it tells our journey in different journeys. Mine was about healing from mental challenges, and those mental challenges came from me having a son that had autism. So this book is to help people because you never know what people are facing. And my whole there's a plethora of information out here. Just make sure you're not just dropping crumbs. Give people um the whole chapter. Let them read that chapter and diagnose what they need. Take what they need to take. Digest what they need to take. Don't I just really emphasize your story can heal somebody else. Somebody else's story can heal you.
Mhm.
Your testimony healed me from being ashamed. And I used to be ashamed because didn't know how to raise my child. Because I did want people to know that I didn't know.
Right. We want to say thank you to Heather Kitson, who is watching. Hey, Heather. Taz, thank you for the hearts and the hand claps. I know her brain is just going. She has a lot I know that she would want to add to this conversation. But I know you're getting overwhelmed over there, and I know you're going to call me. No, first you're going to text me. Can you please tell me when it's a good time when you're not resting
Mhm.
so I can talk to you? And it's like, yep. And I try not to make it at 2:00 in the morning, but sometimes we've had to talk in the midnight hour. Sometimes. And it's,
Sometimes you have to.
you have to meet people where they are. And but just a few minutes left. We have some more great shows coming up. I wanted you to come on today. See, I knew it. She said, this is amazing. I'm emotional and fired up.
I just want this
Go
journey
ahead.
to be a healing. I just want this journey to be a healing journey. Because we don't always have a Dr. Kimberly. Not everybody has a Dr. Kimberly in their circle to let them know to get it together, to do what you need to do. So not everybody has that piece.
No, I'm going to thank you for those words. I greatly appreciate it. And I will say there are times where I wake up and I say, am I doing enough? Am I making a difference? Because it seems like I'm not doing anything. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll get a text from you saying that very same thing. That I appreciate you because you will have gone through something or you will benefit from something that I've said to you or given to you, and you're in a position where you can use it and you see it and you're like, oh my gosh. And so you'll let me know. And really, this is reciprocal. For as much as I'm filling other people's wells up, y'all are filling me up. When you come back, just saying thank you. Am I gonna cry? Okay, yep, I might cry. I'm being a big old baby right now. But I know
You
this
pour into everybody's life, Dr. Kimberly. I watch you.
has not
You
been
help everybody.
in vain.
Even I remember you was on your way to surgery, and you still was encouraging other people on your way in. That says a lot because you're you get your cup filled, but you fill everybody else's cup. I am so eternally grateful because this journey was hard and it was getting harder. And then I met Dr. Kim, who seemed like she's been my friend forever. This journey is hard for a lot of families. It's harder than what we think it is. I meet families all the time. This is why I'm going to keep going because you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching.
Tune in on next week. We have some great guests coming in, and I know money and funding has been cut, but there are still some people in some places who are receiving money and are still helping. So we can have them in on next week. And if you did not catch, he was in the city. I'm gonna have the show on next week. Yes,
Wow.
yes. It is the very first of its kind. It is a reality show showing women all over the United States. One is in Rhode Island, one is in Texas, I think one is in North Carolina, and they're living their best lives as
Mhm.
with disabilities, and they bringing it.
Yes.
They are bringing it. Had an opportunity to do their launch back in April. The first show aired May 5th. You can watch it on YouTube. It's called Divas in the City TV. Yep. You guys can watch the series, catch up so that you can see us from last Friday on the June 20th I got to be Andy Cohen. He wished he could have some divas in the city like we had. Yes. And we did the reunion show, had all the ladies together along with the producers of the show. And I'm excited to share it with everybody because it was alive in that moment on their platform, but we'll have it on ours so that you can see it in its entirety. And I will be the man or woman behind the curtain. So as you are commenting, I will be able to respond to your comments, but you'll get to see the full show. Yeah, uninterrupted. And I'm excited about that. But as we close, we put a comma on this week. And I always say a comma because there's always something that's getting ready to come after. We're never at a period until the Lord takes me home. It'll always be a comma or a semicolon. But if you have a disability of your own, or you have a child or children, or a parent, a cousin, a turtle, or a dog that has a disability, know that you're not alone, that you reach out. Y'all know all my platforms, or on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I even have an X page. Or y'all can email me, KimberlyYKennedy@gmail.com. You can call me 616-514-0731 or 616-262-4177. I'll answer either phone. But know that you are not alone when you're going through. You're not. There is somebody that may not have your exact experience, but does have experience and can come alongside you, help you get the resources that you need. Even if you've been in it for a while, like with me, I've been in this chair for 12 years, but just in them 12 years, my body has changed. I've gotten older since I started. So I'm going through changes with my age, along with changes in my disabilities and my abilities. And so I have to, what worked for me 5 years ago don't necessarily work for me today. So the same for you. What maybe worked 3 weeks ago may not work for you this week. Let us come help you no matter where you are. If you're in Georgia, we got folks down in Georgia. We get you some resources. We'll help you out and make sure that you are living your best life, because that's what it's about. It's about living that best life. and keep on rolling on the road, y'all. I love y'all, and I will see y'all soon. I love you, Taji.
Love you, Kim. Thank you.